the launch of the new center, the Vasantha-Krupa Palakurthi Center of Excellence. The second occasion we are celebrating is the birthday of Dr. Krupasagar Palakurthi, in whose honor the Palakurthi Foundation has pledged their generous support for this amazing new initiative for the benefit of the visually impaired. We will begin this auspicious occasion with a short universal prayer song. Ram, may I just request you to play?
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Thank you. This universal prayer means may all be happy, may all be healthy, and may all be liberated. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now, I will request the chairman of Visionaid USA to introduce our special guests for the evening, Anuradha and Prashanth Palakurthi. Puranji, over to you.
Revati? Okay. Good evening, my dear friends from India, America, and elsewhere. It's my great honor to introduce to you two very good souls. Anuradha and Prashanth are dear friends. Prashanth is a retired technology entrepreneur of fame. But very humorous as he is, he says he spends his time pretending to be an active CEO of Juju Productions, a company, music company, which was started by his wife, Anuradha. Welcome, so happy. Anuradha is widely acclaimed to be one of America's best singers in America of Bollywood songs. Her song, Jaan Meri, so famous that she got the Radio Mirchi Award in India, which is equivalent to American Grammy Award. So I always tell her that you are the Lata Mangeshkar of America. Welcome, Anuradha. Prashanth, humorous as he is, he says these days he has sold his company and he is very free. So he dabbles with music and sound technologies to prove to Anuradha that he is still working hard. Anuradha, God has given her very serene and sweet voice. And it is my great honor to welcome her also along with Prashanth. You have created a permanent resource center with Visionaid in Hyderabad in the memory of your mother and father. What a great respect. What a feeling. Wonderful. This center is going to benefit the children who are blind, are vision impaired, or adults, whatever. And it will be a permanent memory for the parents. You both are a very compassionate people. I don't have to say much. You are my younger friends. But everybody knows that some people make money, but some people share money too. And Prashanth and Anuradha are a couple who have exemplified this by actions. You are very compassionate at heart for the needy, and we are grateful to you for your generosity to Visionaid to set up this center. Here are a few lines from my poetic mind. You are always most generous and kind. To help the deprived is always on your mind. You are accomplished and also rare gentle souls, always ready to help for noble causes and noble souls. God bless you both. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puranji, for those really appropriate words for Anuradha and Prashanth and the whole Palakurthi family. Prashanth and Anuradha, may I please request you to say a few words and introduce the rest of the family as well. You're muted, Prashanth. Thank you.
Thank you, Puranji. Thank you, Revti and Ram. And thank you for the very kind introduction, Puranji. As you said, I'm pretending to be working hard. Actually, I'm not. But today is a very special day for us. And let me share with you I would say from 50 plus years ago, my most vivid memories of my father are of him in a clinic treating the indigent in remote villages of India. And my mom was a beneficiary of some interesting payments he received for his service. Tomatoes, peanuts, rice, whatever the villagers grew in their farms and could afford to spare. My mom was comfortable with barter because she comes from a massive rural joint family where sharing is taught every few hours in every action at home. We children learned giving from her. Anuradha's first memories of my dad include watching patients line up outside our house in Machilipatnam at ungodly hours, asking, Dr. Garunnara, which is the doctor available? And being shocked to see him wake up from tired slumber to see them again. One of those midnight patients was an infant girl, Bhargavi Magluri, who's on the call here today. Her better eyesight helped her pick a great husband in my sister's son while at UMass. 20 plus years ago, Anuradha and I met Dr. G.N. Rao, whose life story from Rochester, New York to Hyderabad in establishing an eye research startup is an inspiration for entrepreneurs, especially social entrepreneurs. I remember being moved by his commitment, purpose, and intelligence. I had little doubt that L.V.Prasad Eye Institute would be one of the finest ophthalmic research centers in the world under his leadership. It is now. And I'm so glad to see you here again, Dr. Rao. You haven't aged, sir. Now, 10 plus years ago, relatively recently, Anuradha and I met Ram and Revti Raju. They are our community's pride. Boston loves Visionaid. While ours might be their first investment in research, our other dear friends, the Guptas, Ram and Ninu, Sharmas, Vandana and Vivek, Srinivasans, Pratima and Venkat, and others, they invest in Visionaid because of their confidence in the Rajus and their execution efficiency. So you see, these three different life stories, circles from 50 years ago, 20 years ago, and 10 years ago, they had to intersect. That is called Nizam in Arabic. And here we are, Nizam. Happily, affordable technologies for the visual impaired will be a reality soon. I'd like to give a shout out to my mom, Vasantha, who is here, my sisters, Sangeeta and Punita's husband, Prasad, as are three of my dad's four living siblings, Madhusudan from India, Ram Gopal from California, and Suresh from Denver. Anuradha, Sangeeta, and I are grateful to our sister Punita for managing the foundation's work. She does the hard work, I get to make speeches. I'd like Ram Gopal uncle and Suresh uncle to say a few words. Though they look a lot younger than I do, it is true that they knew my dad long before I did, by at least a decade. Thank you, Visionaid and L.V.Prasad Eye Institute, for all you're doing to mankind. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much, Prashanth. We would love to invite Mr. Ram Gopal to say a few words.
Thank you, Revati. It's a great day for me, so special and so auspicious. So, I had prepared something to say about it, but I'm going to throw it away for a second here and relate an experience I had. I went to visit my brother all the way from California, and I told him I'm coming, and he said, oh, there will be a driver to pick you up. And he picked me up, and I went home, and I was expecting to see him late in the evening. Of course, he's not at home. He's with his patients in the clinic. And so I had to wait for a long time. And for the next 3 days I spent with him, that is the same story. He loves his patients, and his patients love him back in return. So in my long career in ophthalmology, I've seen one group of great eye surgeons that focused on their career, their training, their practice, and the reward for the hard work they put in before and after the medical school. And there's another group, and these another group of people, this first group of people, by the way, they choose their patients very carefully, and so that they are rewarding patients for them. And there's another group, and this particular group, they have their singular focus on the beneficiaries of their training, that is the patients, and on the community, greater community they sprung from. And for this group of surgeons, patients choose them, exactly the opposite. And so my brother, and in a large sense, Dr. G.N. Rao belonged to this second group. And in their own unique way, and a different footprint and all that, but the mission is same. My brother is an excellent surgeon. I've seen him in surgery multiple times. And he dedicated his life to work in very small places where that kind of a care is not available. Away from the big cities and away from comfortable life and other amenities that we are all used to living in big cities. And he cared for the patients independent of their economic status. He didn't care. And as Prashanth was saying, he received whatever they could afford to give him back. But yet they all got the very best care. There was never a compromise on that one. And I would urge multiple times to him, please go to LVPEI hospital. You learn new skills, new training, new technologies, or you can even go to abroad for better training, better education, so that he can build a nicer practice. He turned down every one of those opportunities because his patients are calling and they're waiting for him. He couldn't wait to go see his patients. And his entire life reflects this kind of a generosity and unselfishness. And he chose a narrower focus, just the community around him. And he did not focus, he did not ask for technology, resources, training. He was very content making a larger impact on a smaller geography. very small geography, but he was very content. He did what he could do with whatever he had at that time and never asked for anything because the focus of his life was giving, always giving. And my Bhabi, Vasantha, who is here, was his partner in this mission, always by his side, supporting him and demanding nothing in return, absolutely nothing in return. And because of her, he was able to do a lot more than any one of us. Today, it is fitting that Prashanth and Juju, through their generous donation, are enabling the same mission my brother started. And the same process, they're going to be continued for generations to come. And on a scale, my brother would have loved to see if he was here. I'm pleased that these values of generosity and not totally unselfishness have passed on from my brother to Prashanth and Juju. I'm very proud of that. And I know they will continue this tradition of giving and a lot more in the future. So my entire family, thankful to Prashanth, thankful to G.N. Rao, because I've known him since even before he started the LVPEI. And we had a lot of discussions about it before he started it. And my entire family, the Palakurthi family, now is an intimate part of LVPEI. And I'm very happy to be here for that day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ram Gopal. Prashanth?
Thank you, uncle. And Suresh Kaka, my other uncle, I hope you invite him. And I have to share, Suresh uncle found me. I was lost once when I was 5 years old. Suresh uncle found me and brought me back home. He takes credit for everything I do in my life. So I'll let him come and speak now.
You stole parts of my speech, didn't you?
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Go on, Kaka.
No. I wasn't going to bring up our long ago history, but yes, my family, I don't think has ever forgiven me for finding him lost in the big city of Hyderabad. But we're happy in the end that he grew up to be such an extraordinary human being and married a great woman. They turned out to be extraordinarily successful in their lives and generously give to great causes everywhere, including this one that honors his brother and his wife's lifelong commitment to service. My older brother Ram Gopal, just said several things about what distinguishing features are about my brother and his wife, his wife Vasantha. They work tirelessly in remote places to help offer medical help to people who couldn't afford it, who couldn't get it any other way. My brother remained a civil surgeon in the civil service and conducted surgeries in remote places in Andhra Pradesh, erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana. He retired as expected of civil servants in India of the time and continued his service free of no payment, nothing. So like my brother Gop, I visited him once in Malakpet at his small clinic where he was treating one patient at a time. And I knew that my brother, all along, I knew we grew up together. All along, I knew that he had three passions. One was his profession. He was a perfectionist who wanted to do his best at giving back to most that he could reach at the time. So he chose to work in remote villages and help poor people who could get no medical help at all. And his wife, Vasantha, as my brother said, was his lifelong partner, committed to the cause equally as he was, working alongside of him. But many of you also may not know that my brother, after his medical school, was a civil surgeon as well, touring small villages, camps in small villages, helping the Indian Family Planning Program, conducting numerous multitudes of surgeries. And for that, he was so good at it and so efficient at it that he performed the most surgeries ever at the time and was awarded a gold medal for that effort. So he switched from one kind of surgery to another kind of surgery because he wanted to do better. We've known Prashanth from the time he was born, from the time he was lost, from the time he was in UK, and from the time he was in Jamaica, and from the time he landed in Boston. So we've been extraordinarily impressed with him and so happy to see Juju pick up what she left off. The conversation we had in London was, "What, Juju, why did you give up this profession, this talent?" So thank you for coming back, and congratulations for doing so well. And thank you for Visionaid for implementing this plan. Thank you, L.V.Prasad Institute, for hosting it. And Vasantama, if you're online, congratulations to you as well. Namaskaram.
Thank you so much, Mr. Suresh Rao. Prashanth, was there anyone else you would like to, you're maybe on mute?
I think we're good, I think. Unless somebody wants Puna, anything? No? No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Palakurthi family. Anuradha, anything?
I don't think I can add anything more. Amongst all these people, I think I knew him latest, I mean, much later in life. I think it's such a fitting thing for him. He loved what he did. I think he lived his profession. Those are the memories I have of him. Never turning anybody away from his door, any patient, any time of the day. You just get up and see him. I can't forget that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prashanth. Thank you so much, Anuradha. Thank you, Mr. Ram Gopal. Puneet.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Hi, Prashanth. Hi, Bhavi, everybody. This question is for the brothers of Dr. Garu. How much did he talk about the success of his own children being a source of contentment for him?
Who's asking?
He was very, very proud of his children. He was extremely proud of his children. He knew they were extraordinary in many ways, not just being smart, but also having a very good street sense in life. And he knew they were very ambitious, and he knew they would go far, and they did. So I'm not really surprised about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ram Gopal, for answering that question. And I'm sorry I didn't get the name of the person who asked, but
Satyam.
Satyam. Thank you, Satyam.
Satyam was at the receiving end of my father's questions on algebra when he was in his 10th grade in Parnoor.
Excellent question.
Thank you so much. So now what we are going to do, thank you again, Prashanth. Oh, sorry, Anuradha, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think maybe my sisters-in-laws might want to say something. Punita, Sangeeta.
Please.
They're his daughters.
Yes.
They must.
Sangeeta?
Yeah. So, hi, everybody. This is Sangeeta Palakurthi. I'm actually younger sister to Prashanth and the middle of the three. I'm so honored and really so happy that you're actually organizing this event in the name of my father and mother. And I really miss my father. It has been really 5 years since we lost him. But today I feel like he's actually not gone anywhere. He's there. He's actually there treating those patients at L.V.Prasad Eye Institute. That's how I feel. I'm really touched by whatever you do, Revati and Ram. I'm really proud of what you do as part of the Visionaid. And thank you so much, family, for being here for us today. And then also I want to really appreciate Prashanth and Juju for their generosity and making this happen, and trying to see through what my dad would have liked to see and then really executing on that. And really somebody has to really take that part and then really continue on. And then actually thank you to Prashanth, Juju for continuing that legacy. There's really, not much I can say because everybody has already touched upon what my dad really liked, what his passion was. My dad's first passion was his patients. Second was his hospital. Third was his surgeries. So he was just always. But one thing I can say is that even he was busy with his profession, he always had time for his wife and his kids and family, always. So there were days when he would come back from his clinic at 10 p.m. and he would sit with us till 2 a.m. to make sure we all got our algebra right, math right, science right. He would make sure all our homework was done. So that's the kind of a father we had. And that's the kind of my mother cannot speak much now, but he was a very, very loving husband as well. So thank you so much for everybody. And I cannot, Punita, you take it away.
Punita? I think she's got some.
She's saying she's done.
Oh, okay. Sangeeta, thank you so much for sharing that. Punita, you sure? Okay.
It's just an emotional moment for us, Revati. Sorry about that.
No, not at all. We totally understand, and we completely get it. For us also, it's a very emotional moment.
Yeah.
To be able to, do this work and derive inspiration from a person like of his stature. So it's a great moment. Thank you for making us part of it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will then thank you again to all of the Palakurthis and the Palakurthi Foundation, and thank you Anuradha and Prashanth one more time from all of us at Visionaid and all the visually impaired beneficiaries who are going to benefit from your selfless dedication in your father and mother's name. At this point, I'm going to actually invite Mr. Ramakrishna M. Raju, founder of Visionaid, whom everyone knows as Ram, to provide a short overview of the work that is planned under the new collaboration between Visionaid and LVPEI. I'm going to start sharing the PowerPoint. Give me a minute, please.
So while Revati is bringing it up, good evening to everyone here in the US and good morning to all friends in India. We have three families coming together. We have the Palakurthi family, the Visionaid family, and the LVPEI family, and our guests and friends. And a warm welcome to all of you. So we're just going to spend a few minutes talking about the work which is planned. So we've been spending several months with our friends at LVPEI, and we came up with an excellent plan, and then we also discussed this with the Palakurthi family. They gave the blessing. So we just want to share some of the highlights of this work. If you can go to the next slide. So we spoke a lot about Dr. Krupasagar Palakurthi, and I just wanted to display some photographs which were kindly shared by his family. So this, so this actually, we just heard about his life of service and dedication to people through his service in eye care. And we are really blessed to be doing this project under his blessing. And I think as Sangeeta mentioned, we almost feel his blessings are amongst us as we speak and meet today. Next. So I'll just say a few words about Visionaid for someone who's coming to an event for the first time about Visionaid. Visionaid is an organization which we started 15 years ago in 2004. Initially, my father and I both actually volunteered our time And my father, Mr. M.S. Raju, is from India. He's also here on the call. And we will hear from him later. And since then, it has grown. Today, Visionaid has 12 centers, resource centers in 12 locations in India. Our hope is that by 2025, we will reach at least 25 centers across India. And we have, in collaboration with our partners, developed a model, and that graph on the left shows the model. Mission of Visionaid is to enable, educate, and empower the visually impaired to live with independence and dignity. So this model actually has a range of programs. I'm not going to go into all the details today, but suffice it to say that some of the programs are aimed to enable by basically maximizing the visually impaired's capacity to utilize their vision, whatever residual vision they have, or to maximize their abilities through the use of technology and assistive devices. Educate is a range of training programs, including computer training, mobile training, and a whole host of other advanced training programs. And Empower is enabling and supporting the visually impaired beyond the programs in the community around them. So that's in a very small nutshell, the work which Visionaid is doing. Next. So right from the very first day we began, we actually connected with Dr. G.N. Rao. He was the very first inspiratory figure for us, because L.V.Prasad had already embarked on this journey much before even Visionaid came. And in fact, my father, Mr. M.S. Raju, spent several months at L.V.Prasad Eye Institute with the blessings and support of Dr. G.N. Rao. And later on, he also worked with Beulah and Deepak and many of our friends from LVPEI who are here today. And since then, it has been a long journey, and we have always been friendly. We've been blessed to have a friendly relationship with LVPEI. And today, we are very proud to actually come forward in a joint partnership. And LVPEI, being a leader in the field, already was doing so much work in this field across all their centers. So we met for several months with LVPEI and decided to come up with a very special set of programs. And these programs don't exist in any other Visionaid center. And really, if I have to choose one word which underlies all of the programs, it's innovation. And really, we are focusing on innovation in the spaces of technology, training, and research. Next. So we identified jointly the Visionaid and LVPI teams. So get some background noise, if they can mute themselves. So we identified 4 focus areas. So the first one was to foster innovation in low-cost assistive technology. The second one is to create funding so that we can make the technology affordable to a broad range of people. The third area was to identify advanced training programs. And the fourth area was to focus on research. Next. Next slide, Revati. Yeah, so within assistive technology and devices, there is already a lot of exciting development in this space. So every year, new gadgets, new devices are coming mostly from the West. And one of the biggest issues with these tools and technologies is that they're prohibitively expensive. So it's not enough to take a device and just find a way to reduce it by 10% or 20% or 30%. That doesn't cut it for markets like India. We need a whole game-changing approach and bring the prices down by 4 times, 5 times, maybe up to 10 times of what the contemporary products are, while still retaining their core elements. So, we identified 2 pilot programs to begin with, and I'm sure that over time, these are going to expand. So we'll just touch upon 2 programs that we have actually identified to work on in the first phase of the project. The first one is an AI-based device for blind users, which they can actually wear on their head as a head-mounted device. And the second one is a portable digital magnifier for persons with low vision. Next slide. So for the AI-based device, we are partnering with a company. It's a startup in Bangalore, Smart Health Global. We are very proud to actually have a Indian technology partner, kind of a made in India technology, which is using the latest cutting edge research, uses AI and computer vision early prototypes of this has been tested in multiple locations, including LVPI, and we have taken the feedback. The team is now improving it. The US competitor for this product currently prices it at about $4,500, approximately 3 lakhs. As you can imagine, that's out of the reach of most visually impaired in India. And so our goal is to bring a product to market which is about 1/10 of that. So it's kind of a very aggressive goal. And what we want to do is build something which is valuable, affordable, and viable. So it may not have all the bells and whistles which are there in the products which are costing $4,500, but it's still reliable and valuable and useful. And so we are going to share a very short video which shows the device in its current form. So.
Reading now. I once was blind, but now I see. Wearable device for blind/visually impaired and a virtual guide to navigate things around you. Teacup in front of you. Face recognition. A wind is in front of you. Walking assistant. Obstacle. 2 meters away from you.
So that is just a very short sampling of the device. So this device already was, we thank our kind of colleagues at LVPEI for already doing the initial evaluation of the product. We received some excellent feedback. That feedback has been turned back to SHG, who's already working on improvements. And so big thanks to all the folks at LVPEI, the Vision Rehab Department and the Innovation Department. Many of them were involved, and we'll be introducing some of them later in this event. Next slide. So the next device is a portable digital magnifier. So this is an immensely useful device for persons who have incurable low vision conditions. So someone who doesn't have vision which can be corrected or cured, and a lot of times it could be young users who are trying to study from books, they benefit from portable digital magnifiers. So what you see here is an example of a small portable digital magnifier. The prevailing price of such devices ranges anywhere from 20,000 rupees to 90,000 rupees. Again, very expensive, as you can imagine. Our goal, once again, is to bring this at about 10% of that prevailing price. We already have one pilot in play in our centers in India. It's a 3.5-inch device, which we are able to bring to patients at 500 rupees for poor patients, and for affording patients at 5,000 rupees. And we're currently actually evaluating improved model, which can go up to 4.5 or 5 inches. But again, the emphasis here is on low cost. So we'll play a very short video so you get an idea of what this device looks like. And the audio in this may not be that clear. Yeah.
AUSED from BREATN high UAULCKLU.
Thank you. So that kind of just gives a quick idea of what the device does. So the second focus area beyond the innovation is actually making devices available. So we are creating a device fund through this collaboration and with support from the Palakurthi Foundation. And through this fund, we are providing a certain number of devices for poor patients who will be given the devices completely free or at highly subsidized cost. And some patients who can afford it will pay the full price or maybe a reduced price. And LVPEI will determine how much a patient will pay based on their current norms. If a revenue is generated from paying patients, all of that revenue will be then reinvested back into the research and development, and also used to provide scholarships, which is another program under this. Next slide. So the third focus area is training. So LVPEI is already a leader in training, and they are providing a huge array of training programs, excellent training programs for the visually impaired. So we sat down together and we identified 3 training programs which they currently don't offer. And this is what we are going to pilot. So the first one is actually teaching programming language skills for the visually impaired. This is something Visionaid has been doing for about 4 years now. and we have trained hundreds of students, blind, many of them completely blind, how to write code, actually software. It's a 6-month training course, which we actually follow the University of Michigan syllabus. And it's always amazing to see how quickly the students progress despite visual impairment to actually learn the basics of programming in just 6 months. Many of them go on to take advanced courses beyond that. We are also going to work on corporate skills development and also coaching for banking and government sector exams so that students can apply for bank and government sector jobs. And other courses may be added in the future as well. This new initiative will also create scholarships. And so where there are in-person residential scholarships, students will be given board and lodging, because many of them come from rural areas. And if they have to stay in a place like Hyderabad, Vizag, or Vijayawada, which are the 3 locations where these programs will be run, residential programs, the cost of boarding and lodging can be offered via scholarships. Another whole set of programs is professional training. So LVPEI is a leader in professional training. And at Visionaid, as I had mentioned, we already have 12 locations, and we are expanding rapidly, and perhaps to 25 locations by the year 2025. We would like all our vision professionals to come to LVPEI and undergo training so that they can learn the best practices from LVPEI and take it back to their respective centers. So that's a whole exciting new addition to the portfolio for Visionaid through LVPEI. Finally, the 4th focus area is research. So here we are basically going to conduct comprehensive research into a whole range of topics. And the main idea here is to drive standards, best practices, and provide positive policy changes. A first initial pilot has been identified, and this has to do with using scientific systematic research to study the effect of contrast sensitivity, and to document how contrast sensitivity can be used in addition to visual acuity to do low vision assessments and actually to help people who have contrast sensitivity issues, because this is one big field of low vision and vision impairment which hasn't been properly addressed. So a research team run out of LVPEI will collaborate with researchers from our own Visionaid team here in the US. It's a broad coalition of organizations. We will also pull in organizations from across India, from our other major eye hospitals, as well as organizations from the US. And the main idea is to create broad standards and broad best practices, which with potentially huge reach globally through the standards. And the estimated number which we came up with was about 295 million. That's kind of the estimate of the local global vision impairment. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. And thank you again to LVPEI team as the Visionaid team who put this all together, and the Palakurthi Foundation for their support, which makes this all possible. So I'll hand it back to Revati now to take us through the rest of the program.
Thank you, Ram. Next, I would like to introduce the people who will work on this project. And we have many, many members from the Visionaid family, from the LVPEI team here with us. And while I would have loved to introduce each of them, due to the constraints of time, we'll introduce a few key people who are very closely associated with this project. I would now like to request Dr. Diba Hussain, Advisory Board Member of Visionaid, to introduce Dr. G.N. Rao and request Dr. G.N. Rao to say a few words. Diba, over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I have the honor of introducing Dr. Rao. I'd like to start by saying that Dr. Rao really does not need an introduction. And I will try my best to highlight a few of his many accomplishments here today in the next few minutes. Dr. Rao received his medical education in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and then he completed his ophthalmology residency at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. He then moved to the US and trained in corneal diseases, first here in Boston at the Tufts University School of Medicine, and later at the University of Rochester, where he then continued as faculty. Dr. Rao decided to return to Hyderabad to establish the L.V.Prasad Eye Institute in 1987. His vision for the institute has resulted in this internationally acclaimed exemplary integrated model of eye care that provides primary eye care in the remote rural communities of India and world-class tertiary care at the top of the pyramid. This institute, besides providing patient care, has provided world-class specialized training to ophthalmologists all over India and other eye care professionals. It has also provided cutting-edge eye research center and innovation center, and has one of the most comprehensive vision rehab centers that Ram just talked about. Dr. Rao is the founder and chair of LVPEI for the 33 years, and under his leadership, it has served 30 million people directly and many more indirectly. Dr. Rao professionally is an authority in diseases of the cornea, eye banking, and corneal transplant. He has published more than 300 papers and several book chapters. He has received honorary doctorate and visiting professorship at several universities in the US, Europe, Australia, and within Asia. Dr. Rao is also a celebrated and well-respected international leader in the field of community eye health, eye care policy, and planning. The most notable contribution being that he has been the chair of the board and CEO of the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, where he played a pivotal role in developing and fostering the global initiative to eliminate avoidable blindness in partnership with the World Health Organization. This project is called Vision 2020. Along with this, he has been the president of the very prestigious Academia Ophthalmologica Internationalis. This is just to name a few of his accomplishments in this area. Dr. Rao has been honored with numerous awards for his contributions, including several Lifetime Achievement Awards from almost all major ophthalmic associations and society around the world, including India, Europe, Asia, Africa, and US. And most recently, he received the prestigious Greenberg Prize for his outstanding contributions to ophthalmology. Dr. Rao is married to Pratibha, who is a social activist, and they have 2 children, Raghav and Vedya. On a very personal note, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Rao for engaging with our Vision 8 family. We are honored to collaborate with LVPEI, and we are very excited that this will be an everlasting tribute to Mrs. and Dr. Krupasagar Palakurthi, especially because this was a cause that was dear to his heart. So thank you very much. And I now invite Dr. Rao to say a few words. Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Deepa, for that. Members of the Palakurthi family, Vasantha Garu, Namaskaram. Members of the Visionaid family, the L.V.Prasad family, guests and friends. Let me start out with a couple of personal connections. The first one, I think hardly any of you know. That is, I was born just about 20 kilometers from Machilipatnam in a village. And I spent my first 10 years in a village on Bandar Road. Machilipatnam is also called popularly as Bandar. The second connection is that I have had long association with the Palakurthi family through my friendship with Ram Gopal and Sandhya. Since the days they were living in Boston, and in those days, Sandhya would say, I would never leave Boston. So now she has become a typical Californian. The third connection is my connection with Boston. That's where I started my journey in America in 1974. And then my daughter went to law school there. And I have always had many connections. And our institute enjoys lots of collaborations with the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary, the MIT, the Camera Culture Lab, the Media Lab of Ramesh Raskar, the Engineering School, and a few other programs at Harvard, the New England College of Optometry, and also to some degree, the Perkins School for the Blind. So lots of common linkages between our organizations, our families, and all that leading to this fantastic program that we are launching today in memory of a visionary, somebody who led an inspirational life in service. I always say for us physicians, there are two ways of life. One is service, second is business. And he chose the first of the two and created an example. We have an alignment with his vision there at L.V.Prasad. Today, we serve in 208 rural communities through our primary care centers, each serving a population of 50,000 in the remote rural and tribal areas, essentially a replacement for the model of eye camps in India, with permanent facilities, permanent commitment to that local community that we are there with them. And as we move forward, we are looking into getting into more comprehensive community development in these villages. These are then linked to 21 secondary level rural eye hospitals, where increasingly we are moving more and more of the tertiary care so that most care is available closer to the doorstep of people who need it most. As you all know, 70% of Indians still live in rural areas, and that's where the most of blindness and vision impairment is and the need is. So we are very honored to be chosen for this partnership by Visionaid. And as Ram pointed out, the various areas of partnership that we are talking about, we are very comfortable. Because in device development and testing, this is through the Technology Innovation Center that we developed about 7 years ago in collaboration with MIT Media Lab. We have engineers, designers, students coming and working. So it will be right up the alley of that group to take this program further. In research and development, we are very blessed to have a very highly qualified team. Even in low vision rehab area, we have 4 PhD qualified colleagues working in the area on various aspects of rehabilitation and low vision. So they will be leading this program with Visionaid. And in the area of education, as Deepa and others pointed out, we have been engaged since day one of our institute. And we train all categories of eye care personnel from around the world. And that experience will certainly help us to really scale up the program of Visionaid in India. And of course, the fourth one is testing of and device giving. Institute is founded on the values of reconciling excellence with equity. Our philosophy is anyone coming to any eye care service in any of our campuses, whether it's a primary center in a tribal area or our Hyderabad campus, shall be taken care of, whether they pay or don't pay, irrespective of the complexity of the disease and the cost of care. So we've been able to stick to that commitment in the last nearly 34 years. And we hope that we'll continue to do that in the future. So in all these areas, there is so much alignment. Looking at all this alignment, I have no doubt that this program will be a great success. And the support for this program came from Prashanth, who I met for the first time at his uncle Ram Gopal's home in Boston. Actually, that summer, my son also was staying with them because he was spending a summer at the local college. So Prashanth was a starry-eyed entrepreneur at that time, full of promise. Prashanth, when I heard about a year ago from your uncle of your immense success, I felt very happy, and congratulations for that, and all your hard work and support from Anuradha and her own success in her area of interest. So to both of you, congratulations, and also congratulations on your spirit of giving. There are not too many in the world. There are a lot of people who make money, but very few who know how to give away that money. And for that, a special congratulations to the two of you. And I think I must congratulate Vasantha Garu for that, because she instilled that spirit of giving in you. And that upbringing certainly has helped you. So in so many ways, this partnership alignment, I think is something what some people believe as destiny, I guess. And I'm very optimistic that we can create something phenomenal, something that can be scaled up, that can be impactful. Yet another area that after we do our work is an area of advocacy, which again, LVPEI has been engaged over the past 2.5 decades, both at the global and national levels. So with all that, I think we have a huge opportunity here to touch the lives of millions of people who need this kind of intervention so badly all across India and in other developing countries. Thank you so much.
Revati, let me say one word for Dr. Rao.
Sure, Paranji.
Yes, very short. One wonders how much one person with so much dedication, knowledge, and horizon of his mind, we are really very fortunate, Dr. Rao. I bow my head before you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Prashanth?
No, I think Puranji said it. Like I said before, I mean, when I met Dr. J.N. Rao earlier as well, I told you, intellect, purpose, commitment, these are the virtues of an entrepreneur. He's got a master class in social entrepreneurship. He should teach that when he retires from this job to all of us.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Thank you, Dr. G.N. Rao, and for your inspirational, support of this project, and for your inspirational leadership in the social entrepreneurship space, as Prashanth correctly said. And thank you again for all of your blessings for this project, which we really, hope will blossom and touch millions of lives. So now I will request Dr. Beulah Christie, Head of Vision Rehabilitation and one of the driving forces for this project from L.V.Prasad Eye Institute, to say a few words and introduce the team at LVPEI who will be involved in this project. Beulah, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Revati. So firstly, I would like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to Palakurthi family. Thanks so much for your generosity in supporting this noble cause. We assure you that through this collaborative initiative with Visionaid, together we will certainly be bringing impactful changes for the betterment of people with vision impairment and blindness. I also would like to take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to Ram and the entire team Visionaid for this partnership with us. Our journey so far with you all is so good, and we are looking forward to continue this relationship. So let me introduce my team here. To begin with, I'm Dr. Beulah Christie. I'm heading the Vision Rehabilitation Services of our institute. I'm associated with L.V.Prasad Eye Institute for the past 28 years. I'll be overseeing the initiatives of this partnership program. My colleagues, Dr. Deva Jayaraman, she is a senior rehabilitation consultant. She has 26 years of rich experience in dealing with people with various levels of visual impairment. She was graduated with a bachelor's and a master's degree in rehabilitation science from Holy Cross College, Tiruchirappalli, with the Best Outgoing Student Award. And she completed her PhD from Bharathasan University on vision science. Her role in this project will be, she will be leading the research initiative. She will work along with other team members in executing this. And Dr. Deepak Baka, he's a senior consultant optometrist. He has 23 years of professional experience in providing low vision care for persons across all age group with different ophthalmic conditions. So he received his PhD from the University of New South Wales on vision science again. His research interest lies in measuring the impact of low vision on individuals' participation and quality of life, and various contextual factors that may affect participations. And his involvement in this project will be, he will lead the professional training programs for this project. My colleague was Rebecca Sumalini. She's also one of our senior low vision consultants. She's been with us since 2019. Both her clinical and research interests lie in children with special needs. So presently, she's also leading the special needs vision clinic in addition to her low vision practice. And she's pursuing her PhD in the field of vision science from the City University, London. So Rebecca will work along with Deva, and she will contribute her professional expertise in the research project. My colleague Mahalakshmi Majada, she's a senior special educator. She's been associated with us since 25 years. She has extensive experience in working with children, especially with visual impairment. So her contribution to this project will be to recruiting students for the research project, and also involved in training related aspects. Lastly, my colleague Aishwarya, she holds a bachelor's degree in psychology. She's been working with us since 2013. Aishwarya, she's a highly talented girl. Actually, she came to us as a client for her treatment, and then later she underwent several rehabilitation training, including the assistive technology to use the screen readers for computer work. And now presently she's our employee. She's currently handling the helpline services as well as the assistive technology training. So her role for this project will be, she will look into the client-related training aspects, their recruitment, monitoring, mentoring, the other support that is required. And also she'll be looking into the overall administrative aspects related to the project. So these are our core team members. So with them, we'll be having several other of my other colleagues will be contributing and then involving in this project. Thanks once again, Team Visionaid, for this opportunity. We are so excited to begin this journey with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Beulah Christie. It's such an honor to work with you and all of the LVPEI team members. Thank you again. At this time, I would like to introduce the President of Visionaid India, Dr. Colonel Sitaram. Dr. Colonel Sitaram lives in Hyderabad, and after over 3 decades of illustrious service in the Indian Army, now works as a cardiologist at the Apollo Hospital and volunteers his time as President of Visionaid India. Dr. Colonel Sitaram, may I please request you to say a few words and introduce some members of the Visionaid India team who will be working on this project.
Thank you, Revati, and namaste to everyone. I'm Dr. Colonel Sitaram, President of the Visionaid Center in India. And it's my proud privilege to greet and welcome all the guests of today's function and to introduce you to the core members of our Visionaid team in India. Firstly, I would like to introduce Sri V.L. Narasimhan, whom we all fondly call VLN in short, and who has been a member secretary to the Visionaid Center since inception. It is due to his hard work and organizational capabilities that every unit and sub-unit of this vast organization are able to coordinate their activities. Next, I would like to introduce Sri Vijay Francis, who is the Director of Programs, who has joined our team only last 6 months or so as Program Director, but he has brought a lot of changes. It is he, with his vast experience in programming and keen enthusiasm, that Visionaid has many new programs running and also ready to take off at various stages in the future. Next is Sri Isaac Williams, who is the next person I would like to introduce. He is the learning specialist, e-learning specialist, who has perfected all the e-lessons, which are an important link between the teachers and the learners among the Visionaid students. I would like to introduce you also to Mr. Sridhar, who is the Senior Program Manager, who was coordinating all the learning activities of Visionaid Center. And you must understand that each hour of a learning activity, a lesson, entails months of planning, and behind this are many actors behind the stage and on the sideline who make Visionaid activities work. I would like to introduce all of them to you, but due to paucity of time, I just say welcome to you all. In India, we have got a Jagannath Rath or Jagannath Ratham or chariot of Lord Jagannath. It's a very well-known symbol, an icon for all the gigantic projects all over the world. The Jagannath Rath of Visionaid just started rolling. They are rapidly gaining momentum. I'm sure that there will be no stoppage as the chariot of Visionaid movement has now taken off, and as we can witness in today's function, to start new ventures. Thank you so much, Revati. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Colonel Sitaram. Thank you so much, VL Narasimhan. And thank you so much, Vijay, and all India team members. At this point, I would like to conclude this event with a vote of thanks. I will first request Mr. M.S. Raju, Chairman of Visionaid India, to offer a vote of thanks. Shri M.S. Raju, over to you, please.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm M.S. Raju. At this time, since I don't do any useful work, they call me Chairman Emeritus of Visionaid. And my hashtag here sources M. Balaraju. Actually, that is not my name, but that is the person who I work for. That is my wife. Here, I thank, it's my pleasant duty to give a vote of thanks. And just wanted to say very first, of course, for Palakurthi family. I was living in Krishna district in olden days, so we are aware of Krupasagar's clinic. Now, there is a saying here that what if there are 1% blind people in the world? There are 99 people who have sighted and helped them. But it's not true, because among the 99, there are very few people, and 1 in a million, like Prashanth and Anuradha, to come forward and do something actual. So my thanks are to the Palakurthi family first. Next one is, let me talk about L.V.Prasad. L.V.Prasad Institute is very well known to me. Everybody mentioned all their aspects and qualities. One particular thing I wanted to mention is, they are the people who brought respectability to low vision treatment. Low vision people who are also vision impaired were ignored for a long time. They also brought respectability for safe living. And for example, Beulah was in charge of that one. I took some training in L.V.Prasad. They also brought respectability to devices as friends of. So there's a lot of many new things brought apart from their technical leadership. So I propose that we thank Dr. G.N. Rao and his team. Next, I come to the Visionaid family. Visionaid team led by Puran Dang, who is here, and the work they are doing, they will explain. And here we have our motto is
that we can't remove impairment, but let's remove the disability caused by the impairment. That is his slogan, and we appreciate that. So then next I come to the people in India team led by Sitaram and Narsimhan, and without them, the program would have been honored. So I hope that this collaboration will go through very well, and we are here in, we are leaders in training, so we can also give our helping hand to L.V.Prasad in this one. So I thank once again all the people who made this program success, and wish everybody well.
Thank you so much, TMS Raju, for this very important and wonderful words and blessings from you for the project. And at this point, I would finally like to request President of Visionaid USA, as we conclude our event, President of Visionaid USA, Mr. Said Ali Rizvi, to offer a vote of thanks on behalf of the Visionaid US team. Ali Bhai, over to you.
Hello, everyone, and good evening to those in the USA, and good morning to all our friends and partners and well-wishers joining in from India. This is a very exciting day for all of us, and thanks to the Anuradha and Prashanth Palakurthi Foundation, without whose complete support, this would never at all be possible. Today, we just participated in the virtual launch of the Vasantha-Krupa Palakurthi Visionaid Center of Excellence at the L.V.Prasad Eye Institute, a global leader in eye care. We have a large presence here from the Palakurthi family. I noted some names, Suresh Kaka and Mrs. Suresh, and then Ram Gopal's uncle, and I saw Arya and Anok, the kids of Anuradha and Prashanth, and I saw their cousins also here, Prasad, I believe, and many people. I put their names down, but I can't name all of them. But thank you all for joining today. You heard the very inspiring speeches from Prashanth about his father, the late Dr. Krupasagar. You also heard from his loving brothers, both Suresh uncle and Ram uncle, and also from his daughter, Sangeeta, very touching about Dr. Krupasagar. We also heard from Dr. G.N. Rao, one of the most accomplished in the field of ophthalmology, and who has spent a lifetime in the service of the visually impaired, and as the founder of L.V.Prasad. And of course, from M.S. Raju Sahab, the founder of Visionaid, and the president of India, and other people. Today, with the launch of the Palakurthi Center, Visionaid reaches into the next stage of its journey to help the visually impaired. A lot of effort goes into any initiative, and my job today is to thank all those who made it possible. Frankly, where do I start? So let me first thank the late Dr. Krupasagar Palakurthi for not only his service to mankind, to the poorest of the poor, as we just heard from many people, but also for raising such wonderful and gifted family that they followed to ensure that his legacy of serving the visually impaired continues. I'm sure today he was here in spirit to bless this inauguration, this virtual inauguration. And thanks also to Mrs. Vasantha Palakurthi for being the one who raised such wonderful gems in the family. Sab ek se badhkar ek hain. Anuradha ji, thanks to you for standing like a rock through thick and thin with this young man sitting next to you, partly graying on the sides, and for your undying commitment and faith in Visionaid. Without both of you, this was only a dream. We are also grateful to, not the least, to Punita Palakurthi, who worked tirelessly with Ram Raju, Revati, and Deva to put all this in place. And Prashanth Bhai, kya kahein aapke liye? Words fall short to appreciate the person you are. You are a wonderful human being, a great man, and it is you who helped put this all together. And I'm so glad right now when I said this, she was patting you on the back, and Radha was patting you on the back saying, yes, he's my boy. There he goes. India is home to the world's largest visually impaired population. And our thanks to Dr. Rao for blessing this alliance with L.V.Prasad Eye Institute for making this tremendous opportunity come true for the Palakurthi Center. I would like to thank Dr. Prashanth Garg, who joined and was introduced to us today for the first time as the head of LVPEI, and Dr. Prasad and the entire staff for their support and commitment to this project, this very important project. The journey has just begun. The Palakurthis have placed a lot of faith and trust in us, and we all together will live up to their dreams of serving the visually impaired. I'd like to thank all of our donors, our well-wishers and volunteers who have given us the support day in, day out, and who have joined us today as well. And thanks to all our partners in India and in the USA. I'd like to also thank Mr. M.S. Raju, the founder of Visionaid, Colonel Sitaram, and Veer Narasimhan, Vijay Francis, and the entire India team. Last but not the least, the Visionaid USA Volunteer Board of Directors and Advisors, under the chairmanship of Puranji, who, in spite of the busy academic and professional schedules, give their time to Visionaid and work in sync to make this all happen. Let me name our board members. I can see today on our Board of Advisory Board, we have Lalit Sudan and Veena Handaji. We also have Aparna Raghuram, Bharti Gangwani, Paramesh Garimela, Ram Raju, of course, Ravi Rastogi, Revati Ramakrishna, Sudhir Verma, Ujwala Fene, Lovely Singh, Ram Kumar, Sunal Bakre, and Vinita Kumar. We are so grateful to all of you. A big thank you. And once again, a big thanks to everyone who helped the Palakurthi Center at LVPEI in any shape or form. And Prashanth Bhai, to you, and to your lovely wife sitting next to you, and to your mom in the next frame, and to her daughter, Punita, sitting there right there with her, and to your kids, and to your family, and everybody here that you have close who are joining in today. This could not be possible by the sincere efforts that you all put in together. Your dad must be so happy and so proud कि जिंदगी भर काम किया गरीबों के लिए और उनके बेटे ने, उनकी बहू ने, उनकी बीवी ने, उनके बच्चों ने अमेरिका से बैठ करके उस देश में, उस जगह पर जहां पर आपने कहा कि बहुत छोटी जगह थी, somebody would give rice और चावल दिया करते थे लोग उनको in lieu of services, that now they can see the benefit of that great man even when he's gone. So not the 16,000 lives and eyes he touched, but there'll be millions more in the coming years. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali Bhai. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Ali Bhai. And this now concludes the event. We sincerely thank each and every person who joined us today to bless the event. We will not hold back those who need to leave, but we will keep the meeting open. And, if anybody would like to say any final words, at this time, we have an open mic. Invite anyone from the audience who would like to speak. And thank you again for everyone for taking time today.
Revati, you and Ram, thank you so much for your hard work. Unimaginable what you do. I don't mean to flatter you, but I'm saying it from my heart. Absolutely. Visionaid stands on your shoulders, and we love you, respect you, and I think इसकी विजनएड की जो नैया है वो बिल्कुल समुंदर को पार करेगी और प्रशांत और अनुराधा आपकी मदद से बहुत कुछ होगा. God bless everybody.
Thank you, sir.
So much. Thank you, Puranji.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
On behalf
of everybody, thank you very much.
Yes, Dr. Garg, please say a few words. You were saying something? Go ahead.
Just I want to say that on behalf of the Institute, as I prepare myself to take this position, I assure that we will like to work and continue this journey and help millions who are needing this kind of work. I'd like to thank for making me part of this journey.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
We look forward to working with you closely.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Take care.
Thank you. Dr.
Namaste,
Rao.
Vasantha Garu.
Okay, bye.
Namaste, everybody.
Dr. Rao, namaskar.
Thank you for spending this evening with us. Thank you so much, Dr. G.N. Rao Garu.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, really.
MSG, namaste from Kharagpur.
Thank you, everyone, again for coming. Thank you
Sanjay.
so much. I see Sanjay Gowda is here. Thank you,
Puranji.
Sangeeta.
नहीं
Thank you, Puranji.
MSG जी मैं कह रहा हूँ मैं आपको नमस्ते कर रहा हूँ खड़गपुर से नहीं उन्होंने सुना नहीं ठीक है थैंक यू
Puranji, आपने अच्छी शायरी की आज. Puranji, that you gave a good शायरी today.
हाँ वेरी गुड जी आपसे सीखे हैं
नहीं समझे.
चलते जाइए
कमलेश जी नमस्ते.
नमस्ते नहीं बहुत अच्छा था it was so beautiful
It was just very moving, very moving.
yeah, very moving very
especially
nice.
to hear about his life and Vasantha Garu's life.
Yeah.
It's very,
Anok
very,
is
very moving.
there. A few things. Anok, I see Anok also is there. Anok, you want to
Yeah,
say
I
something?
saw Anok and Arya.
Yeah, you want to say something, Anok?
I don't know what they're. It's a little late, I guess, and
Yeah, it's a,
yeah.
I think we'll close the meeting now. Thank you all.
Very wonderful.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rebecca. Thank you, L.V.Prasad, Kranti Kumar. Thank you, Kavita, Dinesh, Bharti, Anok. Thank you, Diba, Puranji.
and thank you, Revti.
Thank you, Alipai.
And Ram.
And Ram. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sangeeta. It was just such a blessing.
Very, very touching, very touching.
Very
speech.
touching to hear from you.
Very, very
Yeah,
nice.
such beautiful words.
Very nice. Very nice words. And you know, आज बड़ी अच्छी नींद आएगी. It was such a wonderful program. Wonderful.
I can feel the blessings of your father, Sangeeta. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
all.
night, everybody.
We will end the
Good
meeting.
night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good